Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to stand before you today as we reflect on the powerful message from the book of Isaiah. In particular, I want us to focus on Isaiah 40 and the profound prayer that arises from its verses, "Renew my soul, Lord." Isaiah 40 is a chapter filled with both awe and hope. It begins with a message of comfort, calling the people of Israel to prepare for the coming of the Lord. The prophet speaks of God's majesty, His greatness, and His care for His people. And yet, in the midst of these great promises, the chapter also acknowledges the weariness that so many of us face in our lives. It speaks to the fatigue of the soul, the struggles of the heart, and the trials of the spirit. We live in a world that can often leave us drained. Life is full of challenges, be it personal, emotional, or spiritual. At times we may feel overwhelmed, burdened by our own limitations. But the good news in Isaiah 40 is that we serve a God who renews. The promise of comfort and renewal is a truth so profound that it demands our deepest attention and faith. Within Isaiah 40 lies a power waiting to be recognized, an eternal truth that speaks to the soul in its moments of weariness and despair. The words are not just ancient script, but a living vibration, calling us to remember who we truly are and the limitless potential of the divine power that resides within us. When we feel exhausted, burdened by the trials of life, it is easy to forget our true nature. We see only the appearances, the struggles, the setbacks, the fleeting failures, and we identify ourselves with them. But Isaiah's words remind us of a reality far beyond these surface experiences. Comfort, comfort my people, says the Lord. And in that command lies an invitation to shift our awareness from the transient to the eternal. The comfort we seek is not something external. It is the realization that the infinite is ever present, ready to renew us from within. What does it mean to be renewed by the Lord? It is not merely a replenishing of physical strength or a momentary relief from stress. It is the awakening of the soul to its divine inheritance. Renewal is the recognition that the source of all power, all wisdom, and all love is already within us. When we align ourselves with this truth, we step into a realm of infinite possibilities. The soul that knows its unity with God cannot remain weary, for it is sustained by the eternal. This renewal, then, is not something given to us as if from the outside. It is a remembering, a turning inward to the truth that has always been. The promise of renewal is tied to waiting on the Lord, a phrase that holds layers of meaning. Waiting is not passive, it is an active, expectant state of faith. To wait on the Lord is to live in the assurance that what is unseen is more real than what is seen. It is to dwell in the conviction that God's promises are already fulfilled in the invisible realm and will be revealed in their perfect time. When we wait in this way, we are not waiting in doubt or fear, but in joyful expectation. This is the key to renewal, the unwavering belief that God's power is working in and through us, even when we cannot yet see the evidence. The soul's renewal begins with a change in consciousness. As we turn our attention away from the limitations of the world and toward the boundless nature of God, we open ourselves to a transformation that is both immediate and eternal. Consider the image of the eagle, soaring effortlessly on unseen currents of air. The eagle does not struggle, it trusts the wind to carry it higher. So it is with us when we place our trust in God. Our strength is not our own. It is the infinite strength of the divine flowing through us. We rise not by our efforts, but by our surrender to the one who sustains us. To experience renewal is to live from the end, to embody the reality of God's promise, as if it were already fulfilled. When you feel weary, do not dwell on the weariness. Instead, imagine yourself renewed. See yourself walking, running, soaring with a vitality that comes not from human effort, but from divine grace. Hold this vision in your mind, not as a wish or a hope, but as a certainty. For as you think, so you are. The soul is renewed not by striving, but by believing, not by doing, but by being. As you meditate on the promise of Isaiah 40, let its truth saturate your entire being. Picture the words as a living force, penetrating every fiber of your existence. Hear them as if they are spoken directly to you, In this moment, by the Creator himself, they who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. Feel the energy of those words lifting you, carrying you beyond the limitations of the physical world into the boundless freedom of the Spirit. Do not underestimate the power of this renewal. It is not merely for the relief of today's burdens, it is the foundation of a transformed life. When your soul is renewed, everything else falls into alignment. Your thoughts become clearer, your emotions steadier, your actions more purposeful. You begin to live not as a victim of circumstances, but as a co-creator with God, shaping your reality from the inside out. The renewal of the soul is the renewal of life itself. The promise of Isaiah 40 is not a future hope, but a present reality. It is available to you now, in this very moment, if you will only receive it. Let go of the belief that you are separate from God, that renewal is something you must earn or achieve. It is a gift freely given, waiting to be claimed. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and feel the presence of the divine within you. Whisper the words, "Renew my soul, Lord," and know that the answer is already on its way. As you walk through life, let this promise be your anchor. When challenges arise, return to the truth of Isaiah 40. Wait on the Lord with faith and expectancy, and watch as your strength is renewed, your vision expanded, and your soul lifted to heights you never thought possible. For the one who created you is the one who sustains you, and in him there is no weariness, no failure, only infinite renewal. The acknowledgement of life's challenges is an essential step toward true renewal, for it is only in recognizing our weariness that we open ourselves to the infinite power of the divine. Life, with all its demands, often feels like an endless series of struggles. The pressures of daily responsibilities, the weight of unfulfilled dreams, and the fear of the unknown can leave us drained. But this state of weariness is not meant to define us. It is not who we are. It is merely the shadow cast by our separation from the awareness of God's presence within us. When we feel overwhelmed, we tend to focus on the circumstances that trouble us. We replay the struggles in our minds, giving them power and permanence. Yet in doing so, we lose sight of the greater truth. The challenges we face are not here to defeat us, but to awaken us. They are invitations to turn inward, to seek the strength and renewal that can only come from our union with the divine. The soul's weariness is not a condemnation, but a call, a reminder that we are not meant to rely on our own strength alone. The power that created the universe dwells within us, ready to lift us above every trial, if we would only align ourselves with it. The renewal of strength promised in Isaiah 40 is not a metaphor, it is a reality waiting to be experienced. They who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. These words are not just a promise, but a blueprint for transformation. To wait on the Lord is not to sit idly by, hoping for relief. It is to enter a state of deep expectancy, a knowing that the power of God is already at work within you. In this waiting, you are not passive, you are actively aligning your consciousness with the truth of God's presence. You are not looking to the world for solutions, but turning inward to the source of all strength. Imagine for a moment that you are like the eagle described in Isaiah. The eagle does not labor to fly, it soars effortlessly on the currents of the wind. It does not rely on its own strength, but trusts the invisible forces to carry it higher. So it is with those who wait on the Lord. When you stop striving and start trusting, you are lifted above your circumstances. The burdens that once felt insurmountable become light, not because they have disappeared, but because you are no longer carrying them alone. The Lord's strength becomes your strength, and you find yourself walking, running, even soaring, with a vitality that comes not from effort but from grace. The process of renewal begins with a shift in perception. Instead of dwelling on your weariness, turn your attention to the promise of renewal. See yourself as God sees you, whole, strong, and capable. Refuse to accept the limitations of your current situation as the final word. Your circumstances may tell you that you are weak, but the truth is that the infinite strength of the Creator flows through you. Dwell on this truth. Meditate on it. Let it fill your mind until it becomes more real to you than any external challenge. Faith is the key to this renewal, for faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. To pray, "Renew my soul, Lord," is to affirm that the renewal is already underway. It is to live as though the promise has been fulfilled, even before you see the evidence. This is not wishful thinking, it is the highest form of trust. When you believe in the unseen, you open the door for it to manifest in the seen. Your faith is the bridge between the divine promise and your lived experience. When challenges arise, do not resist them or fight against them. Resistance only reinforces their power. Instead, see them as opportunities to deepen your reliance on God. Speak to your soul and remind it of the truth: you are not alone and you are not powerless. The same power that renews the earth, that causes the sun to rise and the stars to shine, is at work within you. Feel this power as a living presence, flowing through every part of your being, renewing your mind, your body, and your spirit. Do not wait for circumstances to change before you embrace this renewal. Act as if the renewal has already occurred. Speak and think from the state of being renewed, for it is in living from this state that you call it into reality. When you feel tired, declare, "I am strong." When you feel overwhelmed, affirm, "I am lifted by the Lord." These declarations are not just words, they are seeds planted in the fertile soil of your consciousness, and they will bear fruit if you nurture them with faith. As you go through life, let this truth be your guiding light: weariness is not your destiny, and challenges are not your master. You are a child of the Creator, endowed with the power to rise above every trial. The promise of Isaiah 40 is not just for the ancient Israelites, it is for you, here and now. It is a reminder that no matter how heavy your burdens may feel, they are no match for the strength of the one who dwells within you. Live in this truth, and you will find that your soul is continually renewed. You will walk through life with a sense of peace and purpose, knowing that the source of all strength is ever present, ever available. This is the reality of renewal. It is not something you wait for, but something you step into. The Lord is your strength, and in Him you will soar. Life's challenges are not obstacles, but opportunities, calling us to recognize the divine power within us. Every burden, every struggle, every moment of weariness is a whisper from the infinite, reminding us of who we truly are. It is easy to become entangled in the appearances of the world, believing that the weight we carry is ours alone to bear. We look at our circumstances and see limitations, forgetting that what is seen is but a shadow of the unseen. Yet the truth remains unshaken. Within us lies the power to rise above, to be renewed, and to soar beyond every challenge. To acknowledge the challenges of life is not to give them power, but to see them for what they are, a call to awaken. The weariness we feel is not a signal of defeat. It is the soul's way of urging us to turn inward, to seek renewal from the only source that can truly sustain us. The world will tell you to push harder, to strive endlessly, to rely on your own strength. But this approach only deepens the exhaustion. True renewal begins not with striving, but with surrender. It begins with the simple yet profound realization that the strength you seek is already within you, waiting to be claimed. The promise of renewal is as certain as the rising sun. They who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. These words are not merely a comfort, they are a law, as immutable as gravity. But to wait on the Lord is to trust in the unseen, to know with unwavering certainty that the renewal you desire is already yours. Waiting is not passive, it is an act of faith. It is living from the end, embodying the state of renewal, even when the evidence has not yet appeared. This is the essence of transformation, to dwell in the reality of what you desire until it becomes visible in the world around you. Consider the image of the eagle, soaring effortlessly on invisible currents of air. The eagle does not question the wind, it trusts it completely, surrendering to its guidance and allowing it to carry it higher. So it is with us when we place our trust in the divine. The strength to rise above life's challenges is not found in struggle, but in surrender. It is found in releasing our grip on the things that weigh us down and allowing the infinite to lift us. The moment you stop resisting and start trusting, you begin to soar. Renewal requires a shift in consciousness. It is not enough to desire change, you must become the change. When you feel weary, do not dwell on the weariness. Instead, see yourself as renewed. Imagine the vitality flowing through your body, the peace filling your mind, the joy radiating from your soul. Live in this vision, not as a hope or a wish, but as a reality. The world will reflect back to you whatever state you embody, for your inner world shapes your outer experience. To be renewed in the soul is to transform your entire being, and through this transformation, your circumstances must also change. Faith is the foundation of this renewal. Faith is not mere belief, it is the assurance of things unseen, the evidence of realities not yet visible. When you pray, "Renew my soul," Lord, you are not asking for something distant or uncertain. You are affirming a truth that is already established in the unseen realm. To have faith is to live as though the renewal has already occurred, to act from the state of being renewed. This is not pretending, it is aligning your consciousness with the reality of divine promise. As you do this, you draw the unseen into the seen, the invisible into the visible. When life presents its challenges, resist the urge to fight against them. Resistance only gives them power. Instead, see every challenge as a stepping stone, an opportunity to deepen your connection with the divine. Speak to yourself as you would to a dear friend. You are strong. You are capable. You are sustained by infinite love and power. These words are not empty affirmations. They are seeds planted in the fertile soil of your soul. Nurture them with faith, and they will grow into the reality of renewal. Do not wait for your circumstances to change before you embrace the renewal. Begin now. Act as if you are already renewed. Walk with the confidence of one who knows that God's strength flows through them. Speak with the assurance of one whose soul is lifted by divine grace. These actions are not merely symbolic, they are creative. They shape the world around you, for the outer is always a reflection of the inner. As you embody the state of renewal, you call it forth into your experience. The promise of Isaiah 40 is not for some distant time or place. It is for you here and now. It is a living truth, waiting to be realized. The challenges you face are not barriers, they are gateways. The weariness you feel is not the end, it is the beginning. The renewal you seek is not far off, it is within you. Close your eyes and feel it. Breathe deeply and know it. Whisper the words, "Renew my soul, Lord," and feel the power of those words transforming you from within. As you move through life, let this truth guide you. You are not defined by your challenges, and you are not limited by your circumstances. You are a child of the infinite, endowed with the power to rise, to be renewed, and to soar. Trust in this power. Wait on the Lord with faith and expectancy, and you will find your strength renewed, your spirit lifted, and your life transformed. For the one who created you is the one who sustains you, and in him all things are possible. Life's challenges are like waves on the surface of a vast ocean, appearing fierce and overwhelming, yet powerless against the infinite depths beneath. These trials are not here to defeat us, but to awaken us to the truth of our being. Every struggle, every moment of exhaustion, whispers a truth we often forget. We are not alone, and we are not limited. Within us dwells an infinite power, a divine presence that renews, restores, and lifts us beyond all that appears insurmountable. The weariness we feel is but a signal, urging us to look not outward for solutions, but inward, where the strength of the Creator resides. Acknowledging life's challenges is not about dwelling on them or giving them power, but about seeing them as they truly are opportunities for transformation. The weariness of the soul is not a state of defeat, but a call to remembrance. It reminds us that we are not designed to carry the burdens of life alone. The promise of renewal, so beautifully expressed in Isaiah 40, is an invitation to rise above the illusion of separation from the divine and to embrace the infinite strength that flows within us. This promise is not for the future, it is for now. It is as present and accessible as the air we breathe, waiting only for our recognition and acceptance. They who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. This promise is not a mere consolation, it is a law, an unchanging truth that transcends time and circumstance. To wait on the Lord is to trust in the unseen, to live in the certainty that the strength we seek is already ours. Waiting is not passive, it is a dynamic act of faith. It is the quiet yet powerful conviction that all things are being worked together for our good, even when appearances suggest otherwise. In this waiting, we align ourselves with the divine, and in that alignment, we find renewal not just of strength, but of the soul itself. Imagine the eagle, soaring high above the earth, carried effortlessly by invisible currents of air. The eagle does not struggle, it does not fight against the wind. Instead, it surrenders to it, trusting completely in the unseen forces that lift it higher. So it is with us when we place our trust in the divine. Our strength is not found in striving but in surrender, in releasing our grip on the things that weigh us down and allowing the infinite to lift us. The moment we stop resisting and start trusting, we rise. We walk without growing weary, we run without fainting, we soar. This soaring begins with a shift in consciousness. Renewal is not something we must chase or earn, it is a state we step into. When we feel weary, we are tempted to focus on the weariness itself, to replay the struggles in our minds and give them life. But to dwell on the problem is to perpetuate it. Instead, we must turn our attention to the solution, to the truth of who we are. We must see ourselves not as tired, burdened beings, but as renewed, restored, and empowered by the infinite. This is not mere imagination, it is the recognition of reality. For as we see ourselves, so we become. Faith is the foundation of this renewal, for faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. To pray, "Renew my soul," Lord, is not to plead for something distant or uncertain, but to affirm a truth already established in the unseen realm. Faith is living as though the promise has been fulfilled, even when the evidence is not yet visible. It is speaking, thinking, and acting from the state of renewal, knowing that what we embody inwardly must be reflected outwardly. This is not pretending, it is creating. The outer world is but a shadow of the inner, and as we embody renewal within, it must manifest in our experience. When life's challenges arise, do not resist them. Resistance only gives them power. Instead, see them as stepping stones, opportunities to deepen your reliance on the divine. Speak to your soul with words of truth. You are strong. You are renewed. You are lifted by the infinite. These are not empty affirmations, they are seeds of transformation. Plant them in the soil of your mind and nurture them with faith, and they will bear fruit. The world will reflect back to you the state you hold within, for it is always a mirror of your consciousness. Do not wait for circumstances to change before you embrace renewal. Begin now. Walk as though you are already renewed. Speak with the confidence of one whose strength is drawn from the infinite. Act as though the promise has been fulfilled, for in truth it has. The renewal of your soul is not something you wait for, it is something you claim. Every thought, every word, every action rooted in this state of renewal is a declaration of faith, a creative act that shapes your reality. The promise of Isaiah 40 is not a distant hope, it is a present reality. It is for you here and now. It is the truth that no challenge, no weariness, no circumstance can ever define you. You are not limited by what you see or feel, you are defined by the infinite power that dwells within you. Close your eyes and feel this truth. Breathe it in. Whisper the words, "Renew my soul, Lord," and know that as you speak them, they are already fulfilled. As you move through life, let this truth guide you. You are not alone, and you are not powerless. The challenges you face are not barriers, they are gateways to greater strength and deeper faith. The weariness you feel is not the end, it is the beginning of a transformation that will lift you to heights you never imagined. Trust in the promise. Wait on the Lord with expectancy and faith, and you will find your strength renewed, your soul restored, and your life transformed. For the one who created you is the one who sustains you, and in him all things are possible. Life's trials are neither random nor meaningless. They are tailored opportunities for the soul to awaken to its divine origin. Every challenge, every ounce of weariness, whispers a sacred truth, often forgotten: you are more than you appear to be. The burdens you carry are not yours to bear alone. Within you resides an infinite power, a divine essence waiting to be recognized and expressed. It is not the challenges themselves that shape us, but how we perceive and respond to them. In every difficulty there is the seed of renewal, a chance to turn inward and discover the inexhaustible wellspring of strength within. When weariness sets in, it is easy to feel trapped, to believe the illusion of separation from God's power. The mind fixates on circumstances, replaying the narratives of struggle and amplifying their weight. But this perspective is a falsehood. The weariness of the soul is not a sign of failure, but an invitation. It calls you to rise, to shift your focus from the external to the internal, where true transformation begins. It is not in striving, but in surrender that renewal occurs. The divine strength within you is always present, waiting for acknowledgement. The moment you turn toward it, even in the smallest act of faith, it begins to manifest. The promise of renewal is unbreakable. They who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. These words hold the key to a profound mystery, the power of faith and expectancy. To wait on the Lord is not to linger in doubt, but to rest in certainty. It is a state of knowing that the strength you need, the renewal you seek, is already yours. This waiting is not passive. It is an active alignment with the unseen reality of God's presence. It is the assurance that what is promised is already fulfilled in the realm beyond sight. By entering this state of waiting, you do not demand but receive. You do not strive but align. In this surrender, the weariness fades and the soul is lifted. Imagine the eagle soaring high above the earth, its wings outstretched, carried effortlessly by unseen currents. The eagle does not fight against the wind but yields to it, trusting its invisible power to lift it higher. This is the image of the soul that waits on the Lord. You are not meant to struggle endlessly, relying on your own strength. Your purpose is to trust, to surrender, and to allow the infinite to carry you above the trials of life. In that trust, your burdens become light, not because they vanish, but because they are no longer yours alone to bear. You are supported by a power far greater than yourself. Renewal begins in consciousness. It is not something to be found or achieved, it is a state to be entered. When you feel weary, the temptation is to dwell on that feeling, to let it define you. But your reality is shaped by where you place your focus. To dwell on weariness is to perpetuate it. Instead, turn your attention to the promise of renewal. See yourself as strong, as whole, as vibrant with divine energy. Live in the state of renewal, not as a wish or a hope, but as a reality. As you embody this state inwardly, it must manifest outwardly, for the outer world is always a reflection of the inner. Faith is the bridge between weariness and renewal. Faith is not merely believing in something unseen, it is living from the assurance that it is already done. When you pray, "Renew my soul," Lord, you are not asking for something distant. You are affirming a truth already present in the unseen realm. Faith acts as though the renewal has already occurred. It speaks, thinks, and behaves from the state of being renewed, even when external evidence has not yet appeared. This is not pretense, but creation. The unseen becomes seen through faith, for what you hold in consciousness will inevitably take form in your life. When life's challenges arise, they are not there to break you, but to refine you. Resist the urge to fight against them or to see them as obstacles. Instead, view them as stepping stones, as opportunities to deepen your reliance on the divine within you. Speak to your soul words of truth and power. You are strong. You are whole. You are renewed. These words are not empty. They are seeds planted in the fertile soil of your consciousness. Water them with faith, and they will grow into the reality of your life. The divine power within you responds to the state you hold, and as you claim renewal, it manifests in ways beyond your imagining. Do not wait for your circumstances to align before stepping into the state of renewal. Begin now. Act as though the renewal is already yours. Walk with confidence, speak with assurance, and live with the joy of one who knows they are supported by infinite love and power. These actions are not mere symbols, they are declarations of faith. They shape your reality, for the world mirrors the state of your consciousness. As you embody renewal inwardly, your life must align outwardly. The promise of Isaiah 40 is timeless and universal. It is for you in this moment, regardless of what you face. The challenges before you are not barriers, they are opportunities for transformation. The weariness you feel is not an end, but a beginning. Within you lies the power to rise, to be renewed, and to soar. Trust in this truth. Whisper the words, "Renew my soul, Lord," and feel the strength and peace they bring. Let them anchor you in the reality of divine promise. As you move forward, remember you are not defined by your struggles or your weariness. You are defined by the infinite power within you, the presence of God that renews and restores. Trust in this power, align with it, and you will find yourself lifted beyond what you thought possible. The strength you seek is already yours. Claim it, live it, and watch as your life is transformed. For in the presence of the divine, all things are possible. The trials of life, those moments when the weight of the world feels almost too much to bear, are not what they appear to be. They are not obstacles meant to defeat you, but opportunities to awaken to your divine nature. Every challenge, every moment of weariness, serves as an invitation to remember who you truly are. You are not a being bound by circumstance or limitation. You are infinite in essence, sustained by the power of the divine. The weariness of the soul is not a sign of failure, but a gentle nudge from within, calling you to return to the source of all strength, to rest in the presence of the infinite, and to be renewed. When you feel weary, it is natural to seek solutions outwardly, to look at the circumstances of your life and attempt to change them. Yet this approach only deepens the exhaustion, because it overlooks the root of the issue, the state of consciousness from which you are living. Your circumstances do not define you, they reflect you. To be renewed, you must shift your focus inward, to the reality of the divine power that sustains all things. The renewal of your soul begins with the recognition that the strength you seek is not something you must find or create. It is already within you, waiting for your acknowledgement. The promise of renewal is unbreakable and ever-present. They who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. These words are not mere poetry, they are the expression of a divine law. To wait on the Lord is not to passively endure your trials, but to live in the certainty of the unseen. It is to align yourself with the infinite, to trust in its promise, and to act from the assurance that what you seek is already yours. Waiting is an act of faith, a quiet yet powerful declaration that the renewal you desire is not something distant, but something already accomplished in the invisible realm. In this waiting you are lifted, sustained, and restored. Consider the image of the eagle, soaring high above the earth, carried effortlessly by the invisible currents of the wind. The eagle does not fight or struggle, it surrenders to the wind, trusting in its power to lift it higher. This is the way of the soul that waits on the Lord. You are not meant to struggle against life's challenges, relying on your own limited strength. You are meant to rise above them, carried by the infinite power that dwells within you. When you surrender to this power, when you trust in it fully, you find yourself lifted, your burdens made light, your soul renewed. Faith is the foundation of this renewal. Faith is not merely believing in something unseen, it is living from the assurance that it is already done. When you pray, "Renew my soul," Lord, you are not asking for something uncertain or far away. You are affirming a truth already established in the unseen realm. Faith acts as though the renewal has already occurred, speaks as though it is true, and behaves as though it is reality. This is not pretense but creation, for what you hold in consciousness becomes your experience. The renewal of your soul is not something you wait for, it is something you claim through faith. When life's challenges arise, they are not here to defeat you, but to deepen your understanding of the divine within. Do not resist them, for resistance only strengthens their hold. Instead, embrace them as opportunities to grow, to rise, and to be transformed. Speak to your soul with words of truth and power. You are renewed. You are strong. You are strong. You are lifted by the infinite. These words are not empty affirmations, they are seeds of transformation. Plant them in the soil of your consciousness and nurture them with faith. In time, they will grow into the reality of your life. Men's. Do not wait for circumstances to change before stepping into the state of renewal. Begin now. Walk as though you are already renewed. Speak with the confidence of one who knows they are supported by infinite love and power. Act as though the promise has been fulfilled, for in truth it has. Every thought, every word, every action rooted in this state of renewal is a declaration of faith, a creative act that shapes your reality. As you embody renewal inwardly, your life must align outwardly. The promise of Isaiah 40 is for you here and now. The challenges before you are not barriers, they are doorways. The weariness you feel is not an end but a beginning. Within you lies the power to rise, to be renewed, and to soar. Trust in this truth. Whisper the words, "Renew my soul, Lord," and feel their power. Let them anchor you in the reality of divine promise. As you move forward, remember you are not defined by your struggles or your weariness. You are defined by the infinite power within you, the presence of God that renews and restores. Trust in this power, align with it, and you will find yourself lifted beyond what you thought possible. The strength you seek is already yours. Claim it, live it, and watch as your life is transformed. For in the presence of the divine, all things are possible. The promise of renewal in Isaiah 40 is not a distant hope or a fleeting wish. It is a living reality available to you in every moment. Life may bring weariness, challenges, and times of uncertainty, but these are not the end, they are the beginning of transformation. When you turn inward and align with the divine presence that dwells within you, you discover a strength far beyond your own. This strength is not born of effort or struggle, but of surrender, faith, and the certainty that God's power is at work in you and through you. To wait on the Lord is to trust in the unseen, to rest in the assurance that renewal is not only possible but inevitable when you place your faith in the infinite. It is to rise above the limits of the external world and soar on wings of divine strength, lifted by a love that never fails. In this trust you find that weariness fades, burdens become light, and you are restored to a state of peace, joy, and purpose. Let the words, "Renew my soul, Lord," be your anchor and your prayer. In them lies the recognition of God's unfailing promise and the power to step into a life of renewed strength, unwavering faith, and boundless possibility. You are not alone, and you are never without the resources of the infinite. Trust in this truth, embrace it fully, and allow the Lord to renew your soul, lifting you to heights beyond your imagining.